about how, like, even seeing sex on TV, like, with certain age groups of people in our family, we're like, God, we can't watch this, God, we need to, like, turn away, whatever. But it's because we're so afraid to talk about sex, even if it's in its most basic forms. Unless it's, saying in the locker room, ooh, yeah, hit that. But even then, it is, like, separating yourself from ever actually talking about any, like, real sexual acts. It's talking about it in these, like, ambiguous, like, phrases without ever being, like, hell yeah, I'm into foot stuff. What are you into? But like, we're not even intimate with each other, but we can still talk about things in this way.
It's perceived intimacy. You think that you're communicating, and yes, we speak a lot with our bodies. So with partners or multiple partners, whatever gets you going, consent is the hugest part of it. And you can embrace deviance without even realizing it because you're not even saying anything, and you believe this to be outside of yourself. So communication this is where I'm so passionate. This is what I'm going to do with my life. I'm going to talk about sex, and it's going to help, and it's going to be awesome. Because sex education right now is just abysmal, and it's helping no one. And in fact, it's just, making things like, teen moms this huge sensation. Because we don't talk about sex. We just, make it entertaining. Or, make something that we don't usually embrace as entertaining. This sexual deviance.
So we're allowing young people to teach each other and television to teach them.
No, porn is teaching our children.
Well,
and that's not okay.
Yeah.
I got a question over here.
Something of a follow-up. Do you think that in order to successfully commodify something, you have to misrepresent or exploit it? I feel like that's where an intersection can come in, where we can still market something as long as we do it in a healthy way. You can sort of meet both goals, but I feel like that doesn't happen a lot. Thoughts on that?
First half of your question, yes. Second half of your question, no. I think you can commodify something without misrepresenting it. I think it's literally oxymoronic to try to commodify something without exploiting it. The commodification is the very act of exploitation. I would put an asterisk by this because clearly we've made an entire civilization on misrepresenting sex in order to sell it. So yeah, clearly it's possible. That doesn't make it right.
And I think kind of like in the current capitalist sphere we live in, it's kind of this double bind, I guess, of like, even if we start talking about healthy sexuality and it will be commodified. So like, but is that then the lesser of two evils? That a healthy sexuality, healthy gender expression, kind of like, I think female empowerment is being commodified right now. I think if you look at Beyonce, and this is not like a just whimsical like knock on Beyonce, but having feminist in giant letters behind her stage, that sells. That is selling to young women, and that is, whether there is some good intention behind it, that is a very strategic business move. But is that better than the other end of that?
Right.
And so I think that's, yes.
I've been having this conversation quite a bit just in the toy, in my own work in toys. In that, for example, everyone was all pissed when the Avengers came out because there was no Black Widow toys, and everyone was, pissed when Guardians of the Galaxy came out because there was no Gamora toys, and there was where's Natasha and where's Leia and where's Gamora on Twitter, and then when the new Star Wars came out, there were no Rey toys anywhere, and everybody was like, "Where's Rey? I'm really mad." And for like 3 months, 4 months, there were no Rey toys, and then in the second wave of Star Wars toys, 11 of the 14 toys they released were Rey, and they flew off the shelves because Disney manipulated the market. Because they knew people were going to be mad that there were no Rey toys, because they had seen what all the backlash was for previous properties. So they withheld the Rey toys specifically to make particularly female purchasers angry, so that when they released all the toys, women would go out and buy them for their daughters.
God, capitalism
So
is
yeah,
fascinating.
I mean it's
So
so is it better that we have Rey toys for girls and boys to play with, or was it better when we didn't have that, but at least they weren't exploiting us? I mean, it's 6 on one hand, half a dozen on the other. That's the fun of living in a consumerist society, is that they will find a way to make money off of you. And they will exploit whatever they have to, even the things we think of as positive, in order to sell us stuff. That's how it works. You know, and if there comes a point, as I firmly believe that they will, where this pendulum that we have going on right now about GLBT issues swings in this other direction, where suddenly society gets very open and accepting, they're gonna sell the shit out of gay stuff. Because it's gonna make money.
So at the end of the day, even if the discussion about deviance becomes more positive, and you've been talking about that whole thing, about just, we need to create an open dialogue, essentially.
Change the language.
There's still going to be a level of like, it's going to still be commodified, because now it's going to be more acceptable and we're just going to play off that instead of it just being the forbidden thing.
Every creation of culture can become profitable. This is well known, and it's been acted upon extremely well. You can look at anything that's considered this outlier kind of ideal, and there's products that are for people who do not conform. You're conforming to some kind of culture, and you'll always be made into some kind of profitable means. So you just have to decide, what kind of production am I going to support? What kind of ideas am I going to support with my dollar? I have to buy things. What am I going to support with my dollar?
Although there are a lot of folks who are moving towards, thinking outside of that it doesn't need to just be, okay, we're always going to live in this like two-party capitalist system, that there are alternatives to that. Not saying that that's gonna happen tomorrow, but I think that goes along with those conversations of, not getting stuck in the idea of there always being this lesser of two evils. I don't think I could do the work that I do if that was my belief, that, there was always going to be this like horrible negative thing that's happening and that there was nothing that could be done about it. But I think, it does start with those conversations and education.
I also think that it would be myopic of us to believe that media in particular, but in these sorts of representations, can only be used in service of the negative, because the fun part about consumerism as a concept is it's dumb. It is. Consumerism is dumb. Consumerism doesn't care what it makes, it only makes what will sell. So if we buy the right stuff, we can actually use it against itself to make stuff that's more positive for everyone involved, just by continuing to buy it. So for me, that's what keeps me showing up at work every day, is the fact that I come in here and I talk to students about media, and some of you are going to go out and you're going to make media, and you're going to make different media, and I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to try to get other people to buy it, and then when we're buying your good stuff, bad stuff's not going to sell, so they're going to stop making it, and then they'll be making good stuff, not because they want to make good stuff, but because that's what people want to buy. That's the good part about living in a capitalist consumerist society, is consumerism is by its very nature dumb. It doesn't care. It will just do what sells. The only way to make it correct itself is to use it against itself.
And if sex sells, what kind of sexual
What kind of
messages
sexual
are you gonna...
messages should we be selling?
I do have a question. So, I get the sense that there's sort of this like anti-intellectualist culture going on. I don't know if it's recent, I'm pretty young, but it feels like it's pretty recent, where,
It's about the past 20 years.
yeah, so as long as I've been alive, there's been this sort of like shaming people for thinking too hard about stuff. And I wonder if that is something that a consumerist culture produced, because it's easier and quicker and more profitable to make dumb stuff, because you don't have to try as hard to make dumb stuff. And so that maybe there's a larger conspiracy going on, like, well, if we make them think that it's dumb to think
You better,
This
you
is
better,
getting
you better watch yourself, Marley. They're gonna black helicopter you.